We go. We're off. Hello. How you going? I'm really winging this one because I really want to get this done about the comics I've made. A thing that I said, I think, last time that I thought was going to take me half an hour to do. And here we are, number 5 of this series. There's something like another, what, 2 hours, something there. And we're up to printed comics. And I really am winging this because I didn't even look at the year that this was printed. So I'm trying to even remember. Let's have a look. This is the first Bland, and that's the cover by our good friends at Reverie. Yay. Good on you, Gary. Hang on. Let me have a look. I got my head in the way. 2004. 2004? 2024, more like it. Sorry. Gary had been telling me to come and print with Reverie for about a year, and I just didn't connect the dots, and then I realised who Gary was, and I went, oh yeah, I've got to do that. And so we started off our relationship of printing comics together, and I've had fun with this and really liked doing it. And I knew I'd go with the name Bland just because it's simple and easy, and also too, my fascination with Mad Comics more than magazine, the 50s comics, really influenced me. I really love that kind of stuff, and that's the kind of aim I was going for. I've never really had characters or anything like that. I've always just done stories, and that's what I did with this. Now, the first couple that I did were all reprint things, like this one here, the first one, which was all sketchbook stuff, and the second one was all cartoonist strips. So a lot of this stuff has appeared in zines that I've made before, but because of the small print runs and the production level, which looked pretty good, but it was A5. This is much better, being A4-ish, being the weird size that comics are. And I don't know where this image came from and why I had it. I think I was thinking of a cover for something else, and then it ended up being the cover for this because I just liked the image. And it was all black and white. At first. Oh, these covers are going to fold back on me. Okay. I actually did this for another production that never happened. I think I've got 2 of these. So this was probably the first time it was printed properly. It did have colour. We'll get onto that in a sec. Let me shift it over here a bit. There we go. And really, this started off as a storyboard thing I was doing with kids at TAFE, and I turned it into a comic strip. That's why it's all silent, because I was trying to do just visuals more than anything. I don't mind the artwork on this. It's okay. Look, Death of the Pencil, when's that done? In 92. So it was a combination of things. I thought this was just going to be sketchbook stuff, really, but really it's a whole bunch of different stuff. I mean, that first appeared in Nervous Breakdowns in 1993. There you go. These strips. These were strips that I did for something else again. The rejected strip issue, and I ended up using them myself. I do like The Dog with the Third Eye. That was just a sketchbook strip that I stuck in a sketchbook, and I, did it nicer, did some bells and whistles on it. Seagull was going to be a mini comic, and it didn't happen, so I arranged it and turned it into a comic strip of 2 pages. Yeah. And it was just going to be a little square mini like that, like each page would be a panel kind of thing. But because I had the comic book coming up, I thought I'd do that instead. Again, I think this is one of the first things I drew up properly for other people. 1992. Learn how to cartoon. Don't be a wimp. I think I might have been a good person and checked the spelling, and I did. I checked the spelling and fixed some of the spelling on it. Yeah. So, and I can't remember. I think that was just a back cover for something I was either doing or I did it for nervous breakdowns. I'm not too sure. I don't know. Motivational Drive was just a little comic strip. And I think in the end, I did it like that because I was learning how to use the Photoshop Stitch tool, which I don't have on my version of Photoshop anymore, but and it worked. And the Stitch tool just stitches things together. So when you're using A3 scanning and you've got an A4 scanner, you can do two A3 4s and stitch them together to make an A3. Would be a lot easier, but I don't have that tech anymore. Death of the Fly ended up in Groovy Gravy, I think. And again, it was a storyboard idea that I'd had from class. And that's in one of our other comics it's turned up, and I think that one has too. Well, there's a really old one, Weeping Woman, as well. I like action painting. I don't know why it didn't end up in another comic, but it ended up in mine, which is great. 2017. 1992, again. Again, that originally was in one of the nervous breakdowns, maybe the second one, I'm not too sure. Late Worm people liked it. I kind of liked it. It was a sketchbook comic and I did it up nicely. When's this? This has been reprinted a few times. 2017, and people like that one as well. Again, another Groovy Gravy strip. Yeah, a one-pager I did for them. Okay, stuff that I've written. Oh, and Gary as well. So that's the important stuff, what Gary's written. Cartooning is a beautiful art form. I'm never going to get away from it, am I? Buy your Dark Nebula comics, kids. Get out there. Go and see Reverie. Go and look at the website. Reverie. I always call it Reverie. This is the same issue, but I said I really want to do it in... Well, I said I wanted to do it in colour once I did. Bland 3 was in colour. No, yeah, that's right. Bland 3 was in colour. And I think even Gary was saying, well, you've got to do everything in colour now since you've decided to go colour. And if we reprint the first two issues, you've got to do them in colour. And I went, yeah, that's fine. And I think I had most of the colour files for everything. I don't know. I really like that cover better. I don't know why. Both the covers I've done for 1 and 2 and redone. I redid the covers once they were colour. I think look a lot better. And I'm going to do that with 3, which is in colour as well already. But when I do a reprint of it, I want to do a new cover to say it's a reprint, Hey, Fat Comedian, he's going to turn up in Bland 6. You can't stop him. He's coming back. I won't go all the way through this, but I'll just show you. Yeah, I don't like the colouring in this. I lost the colour files. I actually downloaded this from the internet, and luckily when I uploaded it, I did it at 300 DPI. I don't know why. It was just like that. And so when I downloaded it, I had 300 DPI colour things, which was good. Because I wasn't looking forward to scanning this again. Oh, I don't even think I had black and white scans, and I wasn't looking forward to recolouring it. But I found it. It's a bit, the colours are a bit too dark, I think. It's supposed to be at night. I have to colour that one. Actually, that's what I'll do. I'll just go through this so you can see the difference. The seagull one I had to colour. I like the colours on that, and I like the colours on that too. I have to colour that one. That's never been coloured before. I think Death of a Fly I had to colour. I think in Groovy Gravy it was black and white. I had the colour files for that. That was okay. That just ended up on the internet in colour. I've done a lot of that where I'll just do a comic strip and colour it to go, yay, I've got a colour strip like this, and just stick them up on the internet because I just didn't have access to print them. Yeah, I had to colour that one. That already had colour files. I like them in colour. I kind of like my work better in colour than I do black and white, I must admit. That had colour files. That one did too. They were fine. I may have had to colour that. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. And same stuff. There we go. What? There was an ad for Business Goat? Go and get that one too. Makes good cookies. That's what I can say. Made cookies for us at the last con. They were really yummy. I think that's right. I could be talking wrong again. Hopefully we can get those two in. I like that cover better. I don't know why. I just do. It's something about it's more simple than this going on. What's going on here? And I think I just used that. That was one of the comic strips from that's inside, but it's kind of redrawn because I like the idea of the Neil character sweating everywhere. It's autobiographical, this one, really, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look. So this was Cartoonist that ended up winning a Ledger Award in 2016. I don't know why. I can't remember what the actual title for it was, what it won. But it was a comic strip that I did that was just supposed to be for the internet. And there is a site that has them all on there if you want to look. But, hey, we've got hard copy analog here as well. That was a strip I did to do a strip. And it was at the finishing, really, of what I was doing with Cartoonist. And that's an actual story where a guy went past with a boombox in his bag. I was just sitting in the park. And then a man went by, and I was looking on my phone for something. I can't remember why, and he yelled at me because I was looking at my phone when I was in the park. There you are. That's what it was based on. That strip. And that's the very first one. And these ones were just done in pencil on typing paper. I wanted to do them really quick. So for archival, they're horrible. But then I went into ink later on. I can't remember. Actually, I didn't even look at the date, did I? Hang on. I think it might just be the next year. No, it's 2024 as well. Okay. 2 in 1 year. I'm rocking. Gee, that's a terrible arm, isn't it? It's a bit of a bend. It needs to be a bit longer. Hey, I'm drawing a bike. Bikes are hard. I like these strips. These are nice. Again, these are kind of A3 and done with brush and pen and all that kind of stuff. Because I just thought it was worth it in the end to do. I don't know. That might be A4. That might be A4 as well. And then I've drawn them later. Drawn them later? Just drawn them up as A4. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Sketchbook comic, a nice big A4. Yeah, I can kind of see the difference. I'm just whining about cartooning, actually. And they were just all 1-page, 4-panel strips kind of thing. That was all done with Photoshop. I might have lost the files too, so it was hard to put together. I can't remember. And I just, that doesn't mean anything. It's just playing around. It was visual. So it was fun. That's on the back cover of the front cover of the second printing of this in the background. You'll see in a sec. I used that idea before for something else. I can't remember what, but I thought I'd use it for Cartoonist as well. I always want to say The Cartoonist, but it's Cartoonist. She comes back to kill me because that's what happens in everything I do. I think that was the last strip, 2014 to 2017. It won a Brown Ledger. I can't remember. What were they called? Bronze Ledgers? Yeah. I appreciate it, people from the Ledgers at that time. Make your own cartoonist. I actually did get people make their own cartoonists and send them in, and I was going to have a competition, and I got lazy and didn't do it. Yes, that's the second one. So here's the cover for the second printing when it went colour, and that strip is in the background. Again, I like this better. I think because this image is so big. I don't know. And it's very simplified. Oh, I forgot. I put little pictures of myself in there too. Actually, the other one, I'm going to put my head in the way. Hang on. I wonder if it'll focus, but the other one there, that's my profile picture for the YouTubes. That was pretty exciting to know, wasn't it? I'll just flip through this just so you can see the colour. Toby and the Magic Pencil, buy lots. It's a good strip, comic book. I had to colour that one. I don't think that had been coloured. Or maybe it had been coloured because those colours seem very dark. I'm not really into those darker thick colours now. Yeah. I remember that. So this stuff was already in colour. Like it was, because on the internet, all the cartoonist stuff was colour. So it was just a thing of finding the files for these ones. I don't think I had to recolour stuff. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I'll see one and it'll connect and I'll go, oh my God, when I had to colour that one. But I don't think so. I think we were all rock and roll here, and I had files, but how I coloured them was really weird sometimes because I think this is the first kind of work that I was colouring consistently and knowing kind of what I was doing, but some of it, man, you look at the files now and go, why did I colour it that way? I don't know. Now I'm trying to learn affinity to colour stuff because my little Photoshop program is getting limited and it's old. And so Affinity's there for free. Yep, same stuff. I don't think, I just left that black and white. That's right. I didn't bother colouring that. Because, you got to make it yourself, so you can colour it yourself. Business scope, what's this? They were reprinted around the same time that these two were getting printed as well, which is only the start of this year. Yeah. And then we have probably my favourite of the Blands, Bland 3, which was all original. It was going to start off as being a zine, and then I went, no, I'm going to make it the next Bland. So I was going through that kind of transitional period where I was still making zines. So a lot of those zines came out around the same time that some of these Blands came out as well. And that was my plan, to keep making zines and make Blands as well at the same time. But comics have taken over, particularly when I started to do another one, which we'll down further there, we'll talk about soon, which was Business Scope, because I wanted to make a kids comic. So that's going to have a different cover the next time it's printed, kind of thing. Again, this is very autobiographical if you've read it. It's about me and my paranoid visions of what's going to happen to me when I get older. How am I going to survive? What am I going to do? Why have I been doing this comic malarkey for so long and I'm still passionate about it and I love it? But at the end of the day, it means good friends and a body of work, but not a lot of money. That makes it sound really bad. I don't mean it like that at all. I like making good friends and having a good body of work. I'd take that over money. That's fine. But it would be good if you could stay at home all day and draw, wouldn't it? No one gets to do that. And I just love drawing this guy. He's great. I love the banker's haircut with a bit of comb over, and his squinty eyes. I like doing squinty eyes, I think, because that's how when I talk, people say, do you squint your eyes a lot, Neil? And I kind of go, yeah, you're right. And these were all sketchbook comics, and I've just done them, I've slicked them up and done them nicely. I liked doing different suits all the time with this guy, but of course the layout's the same all the time. But I didn't mind that. I didn't mind the consistency. Again, he's going to turn up in a new one as well. Yeah, which will be more comic book wise. It'll be different panel layouts and stuff. There will be a bit of this happening. Oh, look, there's one there. It's 4 panels, but I've mucked around a bit. And they're fun to write. They were really easy to write. Excuse me. And I think they all started off because I did a stand-up comedian talking about being at a shopping, going supermarket shopping, and I can't remember if it was waiting in lines or something. I'd have to actually do some research, which I never do for these. I just do them. Gee, I like the colouring on that. And I thought, well, how can I put that in a comic strip? And I thought, why don't I use a fat comedian? Fascinated by fat comedians of the 70s and 80s. There was a show that would pop up in the mornings when I was a motorcycle paperboy, and it was called The Comedians. It's this English show, and it would be comedians like this sitting down telling my wife jokes, and it was like the late 80s. I could see why it was on at 5:30 in the morning, but I was fascinated by it. Guys with mutton chop sideburns and big bow ties doing really off-colour jokes at this stage of life, and you're just going, man. And, you know, they'd all be probably about 40 or 50 with the cigar sitting on a bar stool with a whiskey in their hands and a stomach out to here. It was fascinating. Oh, I like the single colour ones. I like all that. Oh, and this dog one. This one came up because I did a dog doing stand-up, and so I redrew it and did it nicely. And this is kind of like a little introduction to that. I don't mind my lettering on this either. There he is there. Bit of existential that ended up... I think I did that after I did the cover. So I thought I'd turn that cover into a comic strip as well. We're all doomed. Nothing's funny because it's the modern world, man. And of course, as I was doing it, I was thinking, yeah, I've got to do some strips about retirement as well. So the last couple of ones are like that. And I think he talks in this as well that, you know, like he's not in this one. Oh, he's moving to a shed in Wagga. Where I think, actually he's in a caravan park in the next one. There you go. See, there's my minis that are still happening at the time. And I like to say Excalibur because it's not Excelsior. It's my Stan Lee coming out on me. You can't knock Stan, can you? Look at all this reverie madness. Get onto the website now, boys and girls. There's heaps of stuff there. Oh, and I'll bring that back now because Bland, when that came out, I did this for cons. I made a mini zine to go in it, and it's all the making of, and some of them are the rough sketchbook. Oh, the rough, sorry, this isn't a sketchbook. This is rough for the artwork that I would then lightbox and put onto a nice piece of paper. I haven't gone through that. That's a process thing I have to do. And look, they are different, but I've got some of the sketchbook strips as well. And again, like I said, some of the rough drawing sketches. Oh, and some of the other stuff that I used, but I turned into the Fat Comedian comics. But they might start off as a different comic. That was just the idea written out of my ideas book. Have I got the original? That's you can't see it, but that's the Nothing is Funny strip that we were just looking at. If only I copied it better. Do I have the original strip? in here. And so he had this whole life that would come through him doing stand-up with his two kids who hated him and his ex that hated him as well. Yeah, that was a little sketchbook drawing of about the fly in the soup, and that I turned that into the stand-up comic as well. No, I don't think I actually have it in here. And there was a few strips that I was going to use for something else that I really liked. And these are the sketchbook versions of them. And then I put them in. Maybe that's it. It is. That's the first one. And I did it in colour pencil. That's why it's printed in this. Yeah. Or autobiographical. I'm a hateful, horrible person, okay? And that's the rough that ended up being that cover. So I would take that drawing and put it on nice paper. In colour, spelt correctly with a U. And then I had a bad year. That's what I do remember. And so Bland 4 took a while to get together, but I realised I had a bunch of strips that I'd done for other things and people didn't want them. So I didn't look at that. Hang on. I've got to reach over again. Do you enjoy looking at the back of my head and my hand? That's 2025. 2026 this year is Bland 4. Is that right? You need to know the dates. Yeah, again, that was a sketchbook drawing that I'm going to use for the cover of a sketchbook I'll make for whatever comes out next, which is probably Bland 5, which is autobiographical again. It's about my adventures in cartooning. Probably makes me look bad. Oh, I always used approved by, one of those approved by things. This one's approved by the comics gods. So again, yeah, this was for something else, and it never ended up happening. I think I had to recolor it. I'd lost the color files. I don't know how I do that. I'm usually really organized. Well, I used to be as a young man, organized about having filing systems on hard drives and stuff. I'm pretty surprised that I lose things, but that's what happens, hey. And this is just about, look, I work at high schools, there are teenagers, and the teenagers are rude to me. And it's about them and how they speak to me. And, they're a teenage little revhead. They're full of energy and pep, so they're a car. I think I got that from a Presidents of the United States song called Teenage Girl. I think that's what it's called. And it's something like, the line is something like they put a V8 motor into a female, something along those lines. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know what they mean. Kids today. Oh, he kills himself off Kurt Cobain Bluff. I'm really into people dying. These Stan Lee strips, don't read them if you like Stan Lee. Sorry. Came about, maybe, I don't think they were around his death, but I remember putting them back up on the internet when he had died. They were sketchbook drawings, not these ones. And I wasn't a very popular person for the next little while. But the fun thing about these was doing the dot printing thing, kind of figuring out how to do that. It really wasn't too hard on our good friend Photoshop, but I like it, and I'm going to use it again for some comic strips because I love that look. I love the dot printing look that we used to have in the 70s and 80s, which has gone away because of computer color now, which is just as good, but And so I thought I'd do all these strips up nice. And they are, filler for this comic, but that's okay. And this is what I mean. Like, I don't really have consistent characters. I kind of do stuff all over the shop. Deadbeat Bunny Dad was made around the same time in a sketchbook. This is probably about 2022, I would say, when I made that first one and this one. The first one, whose name I've already forgotten. Smelly Ugly Teen Head. Deadbeat Bunny Dad was around the same time. I am a single dad, so maybe it's autobiographical, maybe it's not. Oh, I like the colours in this. He's just on the mobile phone to the ex with all these little bunnies that he's looking after that day, all the bunny kids. I think they drove off the same cliff. I think that's what I wanted to do, consistency. I thought that would be funny. I think I had a different ending and it was boring, and I thought I'll just get them to drive off Kurt Cobain bluff as well. In the Bunnymobile. And they did. And there he is. There's the smelly teenager again. Stop following me, you gooner. Kurt Cobain bluff, sorry. Oh, and yeah, these Fat Comedian strips were done for something else, didn't happen, and I got sick of waiting and thought, I'm just going to print them myself. So the Fly one, there you go. The one with the rabbit that was on the back. And the puppetry one. And then there was some filler that I used that was sketchbook comics really more than anything. I think that one. And Crapcon that I had to fix up a bit to make it 2026, because I think it was something like 2022. And the cover for a fanzine that I'm doing called Comic Book Slut. And if you want to see that soon, when I get the time to do it, I will do it. More Reverie Madness. Get out there. Get those comics, boys and girls. So I'm doing all this stuff and I'm going to cons and people are buying it and people are very nice and appreciative, and little kids would come up and see my work, like little boys about the age of 9, when I would see stuff like Basil Wolverton or whatever and go, what's that? How come I've never seen this before? Why am I drawn to this? And I will have a claim to that I seem to make my artwork is, other than old men, it's appreciated by young tween boys. They're drawn to it and go, what's this? And I have to keep constantly going, I'm sorry, you can't look at that. I look at Dad and Dad gives me a nice nod going, thank you so much. So Business Goat is a kid's comic I made because I was thinking of an idea to put product on, like stickers, mugs, bookmarks, stuff like that. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I just made a character like a Hello Kitty, but it would be Neil Blandonified, and that's the only thing I use. So there would be Business Goat t-shirts and Business Goat bookmarks and Business Goat stickers, and that's all. So the first thing I did was a Business Goat sticker. And when I did my Business Goat sticker, listen to me rattling as I'm going, I should have pulled it out. I should have pulled the sticker out, which I can't not going to find it another time. Maybe I'll do products. No, that's not it. Different sticker. And people loved it. They loved the sticker. My daughter stuck one on her water bottle. She went to school where she teaches. She's got Pokemon on the bottle, you name it, all these kind of Mangry type inspired characters and Business Goat. All the kids just went, what's that? Oh, that's Business Goat. Yeah, but what is he? What does he do? And I went, I think I've got something here. So I thought I'd make a Business Goat comic that was for kids in the way that I would like to see kids' work done, which is fun and wacky kind of thing. No adults. That's the thing I'm always going to push to. The kids. This is for kids, man. It's not for us stinky adults. even though I'm a 60-year-old man. Get grit. I think another one's coming out soon. I could be wrong. And that's my teenage character in it. Tarquin the sheep. He was originally just going to be called the Black Sheep, but I thought maybe I'll change that. And he's got his 6'7" hat on, which was still relevant today. That's the one thing I find, that the if you make a teen reference, kind of 6 months later they're out of the out of style kind of thing. 2026, I think. I'm just trying to see. You might probably looking at my bald head at the moment. Hang on. Let me lift this up and have a look, because I would say it's this year. This is how old I am. I can't remember when these things were printed. I'm going to say 2026. I can't even see a date on it. Okay. And I want to make good splash pages I can to get the kids interested. I like this. I like the colour. I like this sequence where he eats a tin can for brekkie and milk. And he burps in his mummy's face and she says, "Such a good boy." Because he's burping. Burps, farts, anything like that for kids. They love it. I don't know if I'll keep this up, but he gets driven to work in a tugboat by Parrington Parrot, who's going to have an English accent and a monocle and a top hat, because that's what I want. And I thought, I've got to have ads in this, because one of the big things when we were kids, when you used to get your comics like Archie's or Harvey's or whatever, they would have ads in them for stuff that we would never see in Australia. What's a Twinkie? I remember I had a Twinkie in my 20s and I was going, really? That's what they are? These are disgusting. So I thought action figures, that was a good idea. Business Goat Edda. There is a, what's her name? I've forgotten. She's going to appear. There's a girl Business Goat character, which I'm going to introduce somewhere in the down the line as well. Goatina, maybe I've called her. And she is going to appear in a Sky comic strip very soon. Sky's Cavern Library. I was trying to think then. You can see I never organise things here, can't you? So he goes to work, and I thought I'd put him in a business setting, because all kids like business settings. He just eats lots. Eats lots of paper. That's the original joke that I can't show to kids because it was rude in the end. And these two little businessmen are going to appear again. They're good. They're just juxtaposition men that explain things to you, explain the story to you. And then there's Tarquin. I love doing Tarquin because he's just angry and sooky. And he hopes that he's late, and he hopes that the big boss Ram doesn't tell his mummy, because he'll be in trouble. Kids kind of like it. The other thing I wanted to do too, I just like doing that. That was fun. He drinks all this plant growing stuff. So he grows big, because I love kaiju. So I thought the first one can be kaiju, a big giant sheep destroying the town. Business Goat appears in this. He's a very, very much a cipher. The other characters are way more interesting, but that's cool. I don't mind that at all. I wanted to do stuff like a fan art page where I use, Philip Gunston, Andy Warhol, George Gross, Christo, and Robert Rauschenberg. Kids aren't going to know what they are, but I found that when I was reading Mad, there was all these jokes that were adult jokes or whatever that I didn't get, and I'd have to find out about them, about culture, as the years went by. That's the way I accept this. I think kids will go, well, who's this Philip Gunston guy? And they might look it up and see his paintings and go, cool, I'm 10 and I like his paintings. They can look up George Gross. They might be in for a surprise. So he gets really fat because he ate all the paper as well. But he'll go down. He'll just magically go down because it's the world of comics. But there's Tarquin growing big and bursting out of the building. And then, of course, he's got to kidnap Lola Llama. So that's the other thing too, with all these characters, they had to be hooved animals, because I think that's that was my standard. They all had to be hooved animals. Oh, I like this. Can I like my own stuff again? Is that okay? And yeah, he climbs the top of a building. Business Goat punches him in the bottom. Another hilarious thing. Anything to do with bottoms or poo, you're on a roll when you're with primary school kids. Business Goat catches Lola as she falls to the ground after he's punched him in the bottom with Hulk gloves. That is just a rip-off of Millie the Model 50s comic, where they had dress-ups that you could put on the model, kind of, nice stylish clothes. I just made it Silly Billy. Stop looking at her. She's got no clothes on. She's in her frilly underwear. Come on. He shrinks down, and this is chopped, bro. He tells his mum. So I remember getting into trouble where mothers would turn up to say Neil did this to little Billy or whatever, and I'm going, oh, I'm sorry. Getting dobbed on by the kids and the parents. And so Business Goat's in trouble because the parents have come round. Do you like a pill hat? And he goes, no. If you read this comic by Neil Blandon, you'll see that I didn't do any of the things, well, kind of, what Tarquin's saying. And then she reads it and loves the beautiful art in there, the mother, and she goes, I'm very sorry, and takes him home because he's in trouble. Meta ending. They can look that up. That's okay. He's such a good boy. The end. And then I had some space to fill, so I got my wonderful daughter to do a strip. I wrote it, but she drew it all up. And man, can she draw. I think it looks better than what I do, but, she's my daughter, so I'm allowed to think that. Community announcement. I've got to have a librarian that's Miss Lane about what comics are. Thank you very much. She'll probably appear again. And our good friend Tarquin saying, yeah, Business Goat isn't great because it's a comic. I do like that panel. Comic books, tis, they're chewing gum from the brain. God, how many years, decades are we going to go through this? I do not recommend Business Goat or its Reverie ilk. No longer mint because she's crushing it. Oh, and I'd love to have that in the back cover, but, we've got to reserve the back cover for ads. But that was my parents, is your child a slack-jawed moron? Are you worried your child sits around playing the latest Giuseppe Motorway computer game? Well, force them to read good, healthy comics. And he's kicking the little boy out of the house. I would have thought that was hilarious when I was a kid. And that's what I'm looking at when I'm doing this kind of things. I just think, what would I find funny if I was 10 years old? Look, it's ads for all the Blands. They don't look like that now. And look at that. It's an ad for Free Monkeys. Rob Lyle and Ben Sullivan. Ben, I had to read your name then because I'd forgotten your last name. I'm really sorry. That's it. That's the pile. That's what I'm doing now. Look at them all in all their glory. I'm so happy this is finished. I'm going to edit this up and stick it on the internet. And you know what? I'm probably going to have a break. I've got to get back to cartooning. I don't draw enough now because I'm making these things. I didn't realise how long they were going to take to make. They take a really long time. Cartooning is a beautiful art form. We'll see you whenever I see you again. In a couple of weeks, I guess. See you later.